govern and run your entire business based on systems, not on, hey, I do it like this for this customer, I do it like this for this customer, I do it like this over here, I do it like this, and just on a whims. It has to be something where you've McDonaldized your process. Okay, so always in level 2, we're going to be keep bringing that mindset to you guys as well. The second part of it, which nobody talks about, but that's why one of my big whys is you have to continually be working on your mind, because once you have systems, the only thing that's going to hold you back is your own mind. That is the dead on truth, how you think. Okay, so from here on out, we're always going to be spending a little bit of time on your mindset as well, because this is not weird Deryck voodoo stuff. This is what the top, my background was in athletics, so this is what the top, I can tell you what the top tennis players in the world are doing. I also know that the top basketball players are doing this stuff too. So we're going to be bringing a little bit of that work to you guys too, so that your minds are always strengthening now too. Are you guys in a place, except for Aaron, I know he can't, but anybody that's not driving, are you guys in a place that you can close your eyes and work through some things really quick? We're going to do about 5 minutes right now. Okay, cool. If you can, have a piece of paper and a pen out, or you can use your phone, just something that you can take a note on. So here we go. So everybody close your eyes. And I want you to first start on your brow. Do you have any tension around your forehead or your brow? If so, let it go. Now go to your lips and make your lips into a little smile. Just upturn just a little bit. Now take your awareness to the center of your chest and become aware that you're breathing. Now let's start consciously breathing into the count of 3 and out to the count of 3. Okay, for the next 2 minutes, I want you to become aware of the thoughts that you're having. And at certain moments, I'm going to stop you guys and I want you to open your eyes and write down the thought that you're having. So here we go. For the next 2 minutes, just become aware of the thoughts that you're having. Okay, right now, write down what you were just thinking about. I want you to write it like this. I had a thought about this, whatever that is, which produced this emotion: fear, anxiety, excitement, peace, anger, frustration, love, joy. I had a thought about this and it produced this emotion. And ready for the next step. And now I'm going to let that go. So once you write that out, come back into this moment now and start focusing on your breathing again. Okay, write down again right now. I just had a thought about this that produced this emotion, and now I'm going to let that go. Okay, let me just talk about this really quickly. The path to the upper level is where you're never going to be able to control your thoughts. I haven't met somebody yet that's able to control their thoughts. What you can control is your reaction to your thoughts. Does that make sense to everybody? So one of the processes I use is, I just had a thought about that produced anxiety. Now I'm going to let that go. Does that make sense to everybody? Because as you go and you get more productive and you progress in this, what happens is you have enough time in the day. Almost everybody experiences overwhelm. So when I say something like netting $1 million, somebody's like, oh my God, I can't, I don't have any more time. If you put a stopwatch on yourself, what you'd find is the majority of your time is spent in your mind reacting to the thoughts you're having. I can guarantee you that with 100% certainty that if I came to your office and I had a stopwatch and I said, how much you're actually working and how much time are you spent in having emotions around thoughts, I can tell you that nobody's working 40 hours a week. And I can also tell you that if you work 32 hours a week, you actually work 32 hours a week and you don't spend time in there, you will be shocked at what you can do. Is that fair for everybody? Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense, or is that like weird Deryck speak when I say you can't control your thoughts, but you can control the reactions you have to your thoughts? It takes work and it takes conscious effort around that. But we're going to always be, from here on out, you guys are all getting to a level now where you need to start pulling in some upper level stuff to hit the next levels. You guys are all successful people. So now it's starting to pull in some world-class stuff. And the way that you think is something that we can't control. You're not going to be able to control your thoughts, but you can control how much time and energy you're spending about your thoughts. Is that fair for everybody? Cool. So in the chat box, if anybody wants, we want to create a space for anybody, if they've got any challenges, frustrations, anything they want to celebrate, that would be cool too. Anything that you want a quick little hot seat, 3 to 5 minute hot seat for anybody. So if anybody's experiencing anything that they want feedback from me or the group on, I want to give you that space in there. And Jenny, it does look like Joss hasn't shown up. So are you going to be okay at the end doing just like what we did in the beta, just the first initial client experience on Process Street? I think would be very valuable for people.
Do I need to be prepared to share my screen, or you just want me to talk through it? Okay.
If you don't mind, yeah.
No, I'm happy to.
Cool. So in the chat box, who wants a hot seat around an issue or anything that they have they want to share to help you or to help anybody else? Is anybody experiencing anything? Everybody's just solid.
I'm on my way to go pick up a puppy.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. So if nobody's going to say anything, I'll tell you that.
I'm happy to provide some coaching around puppyhood if you need to.
Yeah, Cher's having a great time with that.
Anybody have anything that they want some support around? If not, Jenny, I'm probably going to have you go because, oh wait, hold on. All right, do it, David Kane. That's awesome.
It's just a celebration. It's no real coaching moment, I don't think.
That's an awesome celebration.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's been a long journey, and we've talked about it. I'm just super thankful.
Well, can you say it?
I can't talk about to the extent, but okay. Just a relationship with a large builder is going to be going live today.
Okay. Can I share it? No. Okay.
Not the full extent yet.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. Something big happened to David Kane. That's huge. And so congrats, David. I'm happy to hear that. something he's been working on for a long time, and it does show. So maybe in the next one you can share details of it. He pulled off something that was absolutely gigantic. So congrats, David. Clark Harvey.
This one actually kind of surprised me because I've been working on, like you and I talked about yesterday, after our thing is setting boundaries of my time as a owner of my company and loan officers and originating and realtors and so forth. And I have these standard things when someone texts me or calls me of when I'm on a call already or, already in the moment of something.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I'll call you later, or on the phone, I'll call you shortly. And so I just been doing that. And one of the gals that's new on as a contract processor came up to me yesterday. We had a little meeting with one of our vendors. And she just said, I really appreciate and respect how well you're able to keep control of your time.
Awesome.
And I didn't even, it kind of surprised me a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, great. Thank you. And so it was just a testament of what we're doing does work and people do see it. And I didn't realize it because, as you know, some loan officers will just continue to abuse your time, but you have to set those boundaries. So anyway.
Yes, right. And so we had a conversation the other day about this. This goes for all of you guys. What's interesting is the distinction between the serving and pleasing. People will respect you when you put boundaries up. Okay? They will respect you when you put boundaries up. And referral partners, they might call you at 9:30 p.m. But when you say, or you have an out of office, or you have something in there where you've respected boundaries, this is what they need in their lives too. Okay? This is the number one thing that realtors need in their life. How to set boundaries and how to have a successful business while setting boundaries. Because we're bad at it, but they're worse at it. And so you can help them by setting your own boundaries, and by living in abundance, you can help show them that you can run a very successful business while respecting your time and doing that. And that becomes very attractive to them. They might be a little annoyed at first. Leanne, Roberta, so on Sundays I always run in the neighborhood, and she lives in my neighborhood, and she would be at putting out an open house sign, yelling at me, "You should be working." I'm like, "I don't work on Sundays." And I'd laugh back at her, and she'd tell me at first, she'd be like, "God, it's so annoying, but man, did I respect you for not doing that." And so they will respect you guys for that stuff. And same thing for loan officers too, guys. So as Clark's building a team of loan officers, and this is what we were having the conversation. I want you guys to hear this, is that, and this is a perfect example of a mindset thing. A loan officer reaching out for your help at 9:30 on a Saturday night, or a realtor or a client, our thoughts about that can be like, "Oh, why did he do that?" But you're going to create suffering in yourself if you stay in that loop. Like, I cannot believe the audacity. We already had this conversation. Who does he think he is? That's the part that you create suffering for yourself, as opposed to, hey, people can do whatever they want to. I don't work during that time, and I'm not going to spend any emotional energy on it. Is that fair for everybody? Awesome. It is one of the next paths up for you guys too. It's so important. Does anybody else have anything that they want to celebrate? Dave Tanner.
Hey, mine really quick. Just letting the process happen with the transaction and not getting caught up in the weeds. I'm just finding every time I catch myself where I'm not getting involved, it just frees up so much time for me. And everything works out right. Everything falls into place, and it's kind of reassuring when that happens, that you don't have to be in every aspect of the transaction.
Love it. It's the control freakalina, right? When you allow the control freak in you to play itself out, and you don't micromanage. And it's so astonishing, guys. This might blow your mind a little bit. Where you guys are at, and in the path to the next level, ready for this, is being okay doing less. And I know that's wacky, right? If anybody's like, "What are you talking about, man?" It's actually being okay doing less. It's about creating systems. It's about hiring people. It's about people. It's about holding your team capable, not accountable, holding your team capable, helping them to fulfill the job duties that you have for them, and allowing that process to play out. Aaron, go ahead.
Yeah, I just realized I had one. I was thinking this morning. So we're having a really good month, and I'm at Prime Lending. We've got like 2,000 loan officers, and I'm currently number 15 in the nation for production.
Wow, I mean, your company's huge. That's a huge company.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that yesterday. I was like, guys, we're having a really good month.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Who else has anything they want to celebrate? Oh, Jenny, wait, Deanna is right above you. Did you want to share something, or you were just laughing, Deanna?
I was just being a smart aleck.
Yeah. Todd Croy has the do less, make more attitude already. Cool. Jenny Stoner.
So I have one that I thought was going to be a challenge to share, and it ended up being a win. So I thought it was good to share that with people because most of us are there. So most people, I don't know, maybe probably half the people here know that my loan officer assistant, who is a freaking rock star, is on maternity leave for 12 weeks. So it has been a hard 12 weeks. Well, I'm in week 7. So it's been a hard 6-7 weeks for me. And they've given me someone to fill in for her who is not experienced at all, and it is just causing me a lot of anxiety and a lot of chaos. And I've just been living in that in the past month, really. And I've just had a barrage of loans that have gone south all week long and last week, and I was beat down. I was just tired. And I'm like, I'm just going to go to the beach for 2 months until she comes back, and I'll come back later. And so today I had a really hard phone call to make for one that was supposed to be cleared to close this morning, and underwriting came back with conditions that my team should have called, that ops should have called, and they didn't. And this is something we revisited over and over again. And I didn't sleep last night because I knew there were going to be conditions. And I was just very anxious. And I called the agent and prepared him that the client was going to go off because last week she cut me out. And so I was just ready for this all over again, right? And when I needed to make the phone call, which was right before this call, like I got off of the phone with her at 11:50 something, I took of what I've learned here and reminded myself that my self-worth is not in what she thinks about me.
Yep.
And that I know I'm a dang good loan officer, and my team makes mistakes, and we can own that, but that she cannot control the way I feel. And I said a little prayer. Nice. And I called her, and she was completely fine. Like I had worked all that up in my head. I had called the agent and just prepared him that she was going to be a rocket, and just wanted to let you know it's coming. And she was fine. And so it's just a testament to what I've learned the last year.
So did that mindset land with you in the beginning right there? It's like, it's our thoughts. It's our reaction to the thoughts that we're having that we control. I'd love to share a story really quick where it took me a long time to learn this, Jenny. And I'll tell you when I learned it. I'd love to share that story. I was in a coaching group. I always do coaching for myself too, guys. And so that's why I've always had so much great respect for you guys. And I was in a coaching group that wasn't just mortgage people at the time. It was business owners. So, and one of them was a heart surgeon. And so I came to a group one time and they went, Deryck, go ahead. And so I told a story similar to that, well, gosh, I made a mistake on a loan, and I didn't sleep last night, and I had to tell them that their loan wasn't approved based on a mistake that I made, and the group gave me some empathy around it, right? And then the next one, he was like, okay, Gino, go. And Gino was a heart surgeon, and he goes, yeah, Deryck, I feel you. Yesterday we had an emergency come in, and I had about 3 seconds to make a decision, and I made the wrong decision, and we lost him. And I had to go tell his 12-year-old son that was in the waiting room that I made a mistake, and his father died. And right then was the shift for me where I went, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perspective, right?
And so that's when it took me a long time, but that was the moment that I walked out of there and I said, God, I feel so grateful that I have a job when I make a mistake that people don't die, because people do have those jobs in our world.
Mm-hmm.
And although it feels like they're going to die and people think they're going to die, right, if they don't get this house, they actually don't die. And so that's when I learned that. So thanks for sharing that, Jenny. That was really one of the first moments where I started spending a lot of time in my mind and being like, wow, I spend a lot of time in my mind beating myself up about.
Yeah. 2 years ago, I would have been in the hospital over this.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, my team's worried because they feel like I'm stressed. And I'm like, y'all have no idea. Like, this is really good compared to what I used to be like.
Mm. Well, cool. Thanks for sharing that. Dave, did you want to share something?
No, I was just referring to the Will Smith video where he's going skydiving, and the night before he couldn't sleep at all, kind of a similar situation. And then it turned out to be literally the best day of his life. So
yeah. That is really, really cool. Anybody else have something that they want to, Todd Croy, anybody else want to celebrate something?
Yeah. So it's kind of a weird emotion. We finally parted ways with our assistant who wasn't working out today.
Okay.
And it's like I'm like got this anxiety over knowing I need someone to help us.
Mm-hmm.
But on the same token, I have a piece about knowing that it wasn't the right fit. We tried everything we could, and now we're going to move on. And hopefully she can have a much better life. So that's where we are right now. And it just goes to show you, I mean, I wish, in a way, I would have liked to have reacted sooner on this, just like we've talked in California about it, right? But, we live with our decisions. And so now we have more clarity about what we need to get done and can have more precision about what we need to get done.
Nice.
And that's freeing. That's actually very freeing. So I'm feeling really up about everything right now.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. That sounded beautiful.
Can I chime in for a sec?
Please.
Yeah, because we had to do this together. And part of it that's working for me right now, even though we have that hole, perceived hole, is that with working through the systems, working through the clarity of what the process and the team should look like, it's made me feel better because I'm like, I need to even get that system tighter so the new person can fit in, and it's not even a question. The accountability is a given, not a question. So it sucks and it hurts, but I feel good about it. I actually feel more at peace today.
Yeah, and that's really the process there. So I commend both of you guys for going through that too. When you build a system, it's not like that you're completely done. And what I want all of you guys to do is it's, if you think about like Apple, it's 1.0, it's 2.0, it's 3.0, it's 4.0, it's 5.0, right? So when you guys are building systems and becoming more system oriented, you start with one, and then you're in masterminds and your groups like this, and then you hear things back, and then you add things to it as you go, a little bit as you go. But once you have something, it's easier to add. But if you don't have something and it's not in a checklist form, and you do the same thing on everything, until you get that done, it becomes very difficult to have a 2.0 or a 3.0 system. Cool. Anybody else want to oh, Jane?
Hey, I now have some people with me, and every day we're refining it and getting it better. So it's the same every experience. I'm so excited about it.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, it's been wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fun. Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have something that they want to celebrate? Cool. So we have Josh and Jenny teed up. Josh is just getting on. So I'm going to let Jenny go first, Josh. And if you can have, your checklist up, and so that you can share your system. Every time with me, guys, we're going to do it in these kind of formats. We're going to go around, see if anybody has hot seats, see celebrations, work a little bit on your mindsets. But then also we want to always bring it back to system and system creation for you guys, because as I said, the level that you guys are at, it's a function of being systemized, the best system, most efficient, excellent mindset. Is that fair for everybody? Cool. So Jenny, just 5 minutes, or maybe 3, right? And just the initial client experience, right? And then what I'll do is I'll open it up and we'll see if people have questions or comments around it. Okay. And Josh, if you can have yours teed up so you can go whenever she's done.
I do want to say too, we're not utilizing this yet, so it's like some of this is a little old, but you'll get the point. So this process street is like a virtual checklist that allows me to assign every step in the process to either myself or somebody on my team. And so the initial client piece is when a new lead comes in, I make sure that I copy my.
Wait, do you have it up? We're just seeing your screen right now.
Yeah, right there. Do you see it?
I'm just seeing fairway, core values. I'm not seeing process street right now.
Hang on.
Maybe it's on a different monitor.
Yeah, or just share the.
Yeah, hang on. I shared process street. Let's see. Is that better?
There. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So when a new lead comes in, I make sure that I copy I'm calling her my loan partner now. It used to be loan concierge, so that's what LC was for logging that in. I do an initial consultation with every client. Here I have it mapped out in process street, which you can do. Now I'm doing that on my iPad and Notability, so you can kind of choose there. I make sure I connect with the client on social media, text them a welcome video.
And guys, we are recording this, so if anybody, don't worry if you're trying to take notes right now or something. So you can get the recording from Hillary later too.
I text them a welcome video, email or send a video to the referral partner. And then it goes to Connie. She makes sure they're in the system and she'll take the application and go from there.
That's a great initial right there. Who has questions around initial? I might get you to do a little bit more on it, but let's see. Does anybody have any questions for you? If you can stop screen share for a second so I can see the screen. Does anybody have questions for Jenny in chat box around initial? Go ahead, Rick.
Same welcome video to everyone, right? Yeah, so after I have my initial call, I explain to them what they're going to experience through our process so they know exactly what's going to happen. And then I say, as soon as I hang up the phone, I'm going to text you a link to our mobile app. If you can just invest 5 minutes to fill this out really quickly, that'll start the clock. And 2 things will happen. Connie will send you a list of documents we need to get a pre-approval in your hand, and I'll start working on your numbers. Connie will also send you a link to my calendar so we can set up a time to go over those numbers in Zoom. I explain why Zoom's important, the whole doctor thing. And then I text them the link to the mobile app as soon as we get off the phone. And then I have a pre-recorded video I saved in my favorites that says, "Hey, it's Jenny. It was so nice to speak with you today."
Can you show it? Do you mind showing it like you did the other day?
It's on my phone.
You just put your phone up to the screen. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, please.
Yep. Oh, that sounded like Sheila.
We all start to sound alike after a while.
Connie has my phone. Hold on.
Okay. So it's good. I see Ryan, David, Leanne, and Aaron questions. So I'm going to go in that order. I just want her to show you the video. I think it's fantastic.
Okay. Photos. Favorites. There it is. I don't know how much you can see. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to turn the volume up because. Okay. So this is what I send them after I text them the link to the mobile app.
Hey, it's Jenny Stoner with Fairway. It was so nice to speak with you today. I wanted you to be able to put a face with a name and to let you know that we're excited about helping you on your home finance journey. I just texted you the link to the mobile app, so be sure to download that and get things started for us there. We look forward to guiding you step by step through this process. We call that Mortgages with a Personal Touch, and we're excited to be on this journey with you. Have a great day.
That's world class, Jenny.
Thanks. I even washed my hair that day.
Ryan Colbert, you're up. Question for Jenny.
Styling on point.
Yeah,
okay. I wasn't sure if you're gonna read what I wrote in the chat box, but hey, Jenny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, question for you. So you showed the intake little form that you created. I have something similar, just on paper, just handwritten, but it'd be nice to go to something digital. Is there something inside of Process Street that allows you to create that form, or did you have like another like a plugin to do that?
So Deryck might have to answer the Process Street part because I'm not super savvy on that yet. Right now, I have that in Notability.
Notability, okay.
On my iPad, and it's pre-written, and then I just write in there, and then I can hit email to Connie, and so she has all my notes from that call.
Okay. But I thought I saw inside it what you just showed. This
is old. This is before I started using Notability.
Okay.
So inside Process Street, you are able to create like forms where you can type in the client's name and you can type in all the answers to the questions. I found it takes me longer to type it. I like to write it. So that's why I've moved to my iPad, but you can do it inside Process Street.
Okay.
And somebody at Process Street helped me set that up a long time ago. So these are old questions, but they mirror Deryck's that he has on the website. Perfect. Deryck, you may be able to speak more about what Process Street allows there than me.
Well, so the upper level 3 system that we're building for you guys is going to integrate Slack into that. So the communication channel is keyed right into Process Street. So, but there is no functionality to write into Process Street. What Jenny just said. If you want to write, if you're a writer, like what she said, then Notability is fantastic. But if you're a typer, then you can type that right in. And I know this is going to sound weird to people, but there's a channel for each borrower inside Slack that then it will integrate right into that. So you're talking all at the same time to your team. Does that make sense? Or is that a bunch of weird? Kind of. Just bear with us for a little bit till we have it fully built out. How about that? Is that cool? David Kane.
Yes, sir. Hey, Jenny, on your intake form, what is the difference on the data between that and the application? Obviously, the application is significantly more complex and detailed, but what is the purpose of the intake other than just...
So the intake call is just for me to learn what they're wanting to do.
Gotcha.
I try to utilize that to cross-sell the agent during that time as well, and then get a sense of what loan programs may be options for them for me to put a mortgage coach together, and really just to make sure there's a loan there. Like, are they? And I can share my Notability intake.
Why don't you share that? Because and the only other thing I want to say is it's also to create rapport.
Yeah.
And it's also to see if there's any red flags that you see right there as well.
Yeah.
And then you're also assessing motivation in there so that you can know if this is a deal right now or it's not a deal right now. So there's a lot going in on that initial call. I always did a 2-call system too. I don't know if you guys remember mine, but mine was always like that as well.
Yeah. So I want to assess to make sure what they want to do. And then I really take a few minutes and I always say, my language, I'll share with y'all I don't know how I'll share it, but I'll share it in the group. I'll share it in the Facebook group once we're done.
Can you just show it right now? Share a screen share?
No, because it's inside Citrix.
No problem. No problem.
I always use language like, if you're comfortable with your permission, I would love to ask you a few questions that's going to give me a picture into what you're wanting to do to make sure I can serve you best.
That's exactly how I said it.
Go figure. So
with your permission is a very powerful opening.
Yeah, because it kind of takes that anxiety down a notch. And then I take a good couple of minutes before I get them to fill out the mobile app to explain the process to them. I want them to know exactly what's going to happen. So I make sure in that call that I'm like, as soon as you download the mobile app, 2 things are going to happen. Connie's going to send you a list of the documents we need to get you a pre-approval, and she's going to get that pre-approval to you. She's going to send you a link to my calendar because at the same time, I'm going to be working on some customized loan options with you. And then I explain why I don't email an estimate. I explain why I meet with people on Zoom, and I set up that Zoom call in that initial intake.
Let me just make a point on with your permission too. I don't know if you can remember when you go to the doctor and the doctor is going to check out something sensitive on you. At least my doctor says, with your permission now, we're going to do this. We're going to have some, like, people feel about their body as the same that they feel about their finances. They have an anxiety about showing somebody their true financial picture. So when you use words like with your permission, you're acknowledging that this is sensitive data for them too, and it's a great relationship rapport building so that they trust you more.
The other thing is not on here that I started doing is in my process, I have that I connect with them on Facebook after this call. What I've been trying to do is connect on Facebook with them as soon as I get the lead before I have that call, because chances are I know somebody they know. And as soon as I talk to them, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, Josh and Carly, I helped them get a house last year. Yep. Like that immediately takes down their defenses. So when I do my real one, I'm going to move the Facebook connection to, as soon as I get the lead, I'm going to find them on Facebook, because I've been surprised how much that helps with the connection.
Awesome. And then I see Leanne, I believe.
Hey, beautiful.
Hey, honey.
Hey, I'm curious. I know that you do the Zoom call later, but is your initial call Zoom, or are you just on the telephone with them?
Just on the phone.
Okay, thank you.
I find that I thought about doing Zoom to start with, and I think you build more rapport if you did that. But unless you've talked to them on the phone, I feel like there's apprehension for Zoom. Like, I sell Zoom on that call, and then they're comfortable with Zoom for Mortgage Coach. But when your initial contact with them is let's hop on Zoom, they're like, whoa, hold on. I felt resistance there, so that's why I don't.
I didn't brush my hair, right? They're
all ready.
Right.
Yeah. So quick follow-up, when you're doing the Zoom call, so you're not presenting Mortgage Coach or anything until they schedule with you, correct?
Correct. And I just carve out time in my calendar. So nobody can book a Zoom call before 12 o'clock any day. And there's a 24-day hedge that I have set
24
up. 24 hours, not 24 days. There's a 24-hour hedge that I have set up in Calendly. So like somebody can't log onto my calendar at 8 o'clock and book a call for 10, because that would send me into panic because I wouldn't have time to do that. So you can set up those permissions in Calendly of when they can book, and also how far in advance they're allowed to book.
How do you handle it when you're on a short time frame, like somebody wants to put an offer in and they need everything to move quicker?
I try to coach my agents so that we're never in that situation. Occasionally we are, and if it's one of my good agents, I'll make accommodations for them, but I'll let them know that like I'm only doing it for them.
That is exactly how I did it. There's a pre-coaching always going on. You're educating them the whole time about why that's awful for not for us, why it's awful for the borrower. And then when it happens, right, then because it will, right? But then it's like, hey, Jenny, as we talked about, this is not good for them, but for you, I'll do this on this one time, but, and I can have this over, I can move some things around. And then you can do it from that perspective, but it is it's a mindset coaching thing up front. That was awesome.
And it's really it's like a self-worth kind of thing where, like, yesterday I had one of my good agents who asked me to do that, but Connie had 8 sets of docs to review and get out, and she had committed that was going to take all day for her. And I had back-to-back meetings all day. And so I'm like, girl, I love you, but we can't do it till tomorrow. Like, we are booked solid. If you want me to give you, and Deryck, I'm following your lead here. If you want me to give you the link to my personal calendar that you can just start giving out so that they can book sooner, I'm willing to do that with you.
That's exactly how to say it.
And so she appreciated that, and it'll go out today, but we could not physically get it done yesterday. And I wasn't going to send everything in a tailspin to make it happen.
So guys, this is what we were talking about in the beta the other day. So let me just say it to him, Jenny, is I'm starting to look at you guys about how I was at the end of my career doing 20 to 25 units a month. You can't do this stuff that you're doing, right? So if you guys start thinking of yourself like, how am I going to build my system now to handle 20 to 25 units a month? You'll see that you can't take these reactive calls and be in any kind of reactive. Everything has to be proactive. You're not going to be able to do 20 to 25 units in any kind of reactionary place, and you have to be okay setting that kind of boundary with people. What I can tell you is if you do it now, when you don't have 20 to 25 and you build that muscle now, it's going to be easy for you to do 20 to 25. If you live in scarcity now and say, yeah, but they might not use me and they might not like me and they might not did it right now, you're not going to be able to build that habit, and there's no way there. So there's a mental shift that goes on at some point when you say, I am going to do 20 to 25 units a month. And when I have a business that looks like that, I have to be completely proactive with my time, and everything needs to be managed. And the way to say it to agents, because everybody goes, well, how are you going to get them to use the schedule? They like to email me, they like to call. You just say it like that. Hey, I'm going to give you a link to my personal schedule for you and for your clients that is not out there. You cannot get me any other way than this. And this is for you. So when you're sitting there and they want to get to a pre-approval, you can just log on with them and you can book it with them right there with them. You can skip the whole step of the email and reaching all out. It takes time, and it takes coaching, and it takes educating. Okay, you'll do it one time and they won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll tell them to do it again and then they won't do it. And then you'll remind them again and they won't do it. But it's just like having children, right? You just keep training them on that, and they will do it over time. Because at some point, Jenny found this out with me the other day. Right? Like Jenny found one of my other ninja secrets, like on accident. At some point, I kept my voicemail full and I didn't ever open it. So, and she called about something the other day and she was like, your voicemail's full. And I was like, yeah, that's on purpose, so that they know that you can't just call me anymore. This is the only way. So
I had an appointment to call you though.
I know, but I still, I mean, I know, but that's, if you're going to do a lot of volume, you have to do these tricks, right?
Well, you have to, what I'm learning is you have to be okay if you lose the loan. Where there was one, she was like, well, I really need an answer tonight. And I'm like, I can't get it to you. Like, you should call your second person. And I was totally fine with that. But you have to be okay with that.
Say that again, because that is what holds a lot of people back.
They called and they wanted me to do a pre-approval that night, and I couldn't. I was at Bible study and I couldn't do it. And so I'm like, honey, I can't do it tonight. You should call your number two. And they did. And he did a pre-approval and he got the loan, and I don't care.
Isn't that interesting? Nobody likes to hear that. That's almost like sacrosanct, right? But I promise you, it's the path.
Yeah, but if you've built the process to impress them, what I found is when they call that, I want them to have a couple with that number two guy so they can see how good I am. That sounded ugly, but
that's a great way to say it too.
Preach. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's a great way to say it.
I want them to have it, because sometimes they'll apologize that they have a loan with somebody else. This is my best team. And I'm like, girl, it's okay, because I want you to see how everybody else does it every now and then.
That's awesome.
And that, it's good for them.
Yeah, when you're that good, you can do that too, right?
Well, it's not me, it's the team. And the whole team's that good.
I didn't mean you, but when you have a process, you have a system, right, and you have a system and a process. When it's that good,
right,
you can do that. Wow, that's fantastic. Aaron Crossley. Leanne, do you feel served? Do you have anything else? You felt served? Okay, cool. Aaron.
Hey, Jenny. So I've been using Google Keep to put my saved text messages in there. Where are you saving that video? Like, how are you streamlining that video to send out, that intro stuff?
On my iPhone, and it's clicked as a heart for a favorite. So I just go to my favorite and text it out from there.
All right. I didn't know if you had a better trick for having just a template in there.
No, I'm just doing it right from my phone. And I do have a, well, no, I mean, I have the script for Text Them, the mobile app. And then right after that, I just send the video. So I don't need an additional wording or anything with the video, because I've just told them it's coming.
Yeah.
You just can't let yourself get distracted when you get off the phone with them. You got to actually text them the link to the app and send the video right then. Because if somebody comes in and disturbs you, you'll forget.
John Cabela. Is he still on?
Hey, good morning, guys. My question got answered. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
Hang on, I gotta give this phone to Connie. Just a second. Hang on.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, they're interviewing me.
Deryck, I have a comment on what Jenny
I'm just gonna wait till she comes back.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
Cool. Clark.
So I recorded, I think I put it in the group last week, a little short video that I did about how to apply for a loan with me and what to do, kind of a short process, and had my wife kind of zoom in on the computer and stuff like that. So I put it in BombBomb and I tested it out Friday. I got a late call Friday afternoon from a realtor that I work with and said, hey, can you call this chiropractor? And we're in a situation, and I already had plans with my wife to go to dinner with some friends, and so I knew the time was short. So what I did is I called the chiropractor and I said, hey, listen, I want to be able to serve your needs. I'm excited to work with you. I have some personal commitments that I need to go to. Do you mind if I just send this short video to you? It gives all the instructions how to apply online, what to get, and all that stuff. And so it's just in my BombBomb. I sent it to him via text. He had that. And so Monday morning, he'd already hit my calendar link, my Calendly, and set up a time to meet with me, go over all his financials, and I was able to review it. So that worked well too. When sometimes
that's fantastic, Clark. Yeah.
Anyway, that's
that can help. Yeah, that can help too, along with, when you can give that to your agents too. If there's a video from you too in there about how to use your Calendly link, that could be really, really powerful right there.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Hey, so in the interest of time, because we're at 7 minutes, I think instead of Josh, you doing the whole thing, maybe Josh, you do next time. What I'd like to have is always, every time that we meet with me, at least one person that's been with me for a little bit, or that has a tight system that can share that other people get value from. I'd like for everybody, I'd like to have at least one, if not two, that we can always highlight so that you guys can get ideas and tips and tricks on systems. But Jenny, why don't you share a little bit more of yours, since we're down to 7 minutes, and we'll go to Josh next time.
Oops, I almost clicked leave meeting. Sorry, you want me to share my screen?
Yeah.
Can you see Process Street?
Yep.
Okay. And again, this is a little out of date from what I actually do because I haven't updated Process Street, but we went through the homework. So once they apply, Connie downloads it. And in Process Street, you can check off when it's done. So I don't ever have to, once we implement this, which we haven't yet, but once we do, I won't have to meet with her and be like, has this been done? Has this been done? I can just go and look and tell. So she sends out the homework list to the client. She gathers the docs. She analyzes the pre-approval, and she sends out the pre-approval with the max they can qualify for, along with what their purchase price needs to be with the down payment they've told me they need to get them the payment they say they want. So that's one of the questions in my intake call is, what's your desired payment? How much money do you want to put down? So she sends out that. And then at the time of the homework list, she sends out the link to my calendar. So that's, and the wording there is, I don't even think I have this in Process Street, but it's so important to Jenny that she explains all of your loan options. The way she does that is in Zoom. Here's the link to her calendar to set up a time. Please make sure you click on this and select a thing quickly, because she's usually at least 2 days out. So it creates some urgency for them. Because like if they went on my calendar today, they can't get me till probably Tuesday of next week, because it's just back to back right now. So she sends out the pre-approval. Here's another big thing that's been successful for us. One of Connie's roles is, after I give her that intake sheet, she is responsible for, if they haven't applied within 48 hours, she reaches out to them every 48 hours until they apply. And she lets the agent know that we're following up and we haven't gotten their application. And then after they apply and she sends them docs, she lets the agent know they did apply. She sent them a list. She'll follow up with the approval. And every 48 hours that she hasn't gotten those documents, she follows up with the client and lets the agent know. So the agents love that, because they are horrible at keeping up with that kind of stuff. So we kind of do that for them. That's become burdensome's a negative word. I have to change that frame, but it's become difficult with as many as we have right now for her to stay on top of that. So we're not doing that with excellence right now. But part of that, we're just letting go because we're down a man. So right now, whoever gets to us gets us, and then whoever doesn't, we might not hear from them, and we're having to be okay with that right now.
Cool. Let's see if there's any, just in the interest of time, let's see if does anybody have any questions on that right there? If you can stop screen share.
I did. Oh, a zap from
Aaron.
Notability to Process Street.
Yeah, I took note of that too. Aaron, you want to say that? I took note of that too for in the level 3 beta.
Yeah, I'm doing zaps from pipe drive to Process Street. That's been really helpful. So I break out all my steps and then I build filters into pipe drive. So when I drop them into like a application triggered or pre-approval, it launches the checklist in Process Street, and then it sucks over the fields from pipe drive, and it populates name, email, phone number, things like that to save me time.
That's nice.
Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, I want to see that out.
I'll present it on Thursday next week.
I want to see that
I've
out.
got it dialed in.
Cool. Anybody else have any questions on that for Jenny on where her process is with that? Is that helpful for everybody? Does anybody see anything that you would say to her? Hey, you know what I do right here that I would encourage you to consider as well? Can we provide any feedback to Jenny on that? Does anybody see something in there that you guys do well that you would want to give her any feedback on? As I said, I would love for everybody to be able to do this at some point too, so that you guys are getting feedback on your systems. But we can't do it until it's fully put out.